the Never Seen It podcast, the only podcast called Never Seen It podcast that is worth listening to. We have with us tonight Mr. Justin Holden, aka Shibs the Zombie, Mr. Arnie the One Man Party, aka Mr. Arnold Callego, Mr. Daily Dares, aka Filipino Grigio, aka Alex Callego, the brothers Callego. And we also, of course, have Mr. Donnie Guzman, aka Donnie Appleseed. And then there's me, the host, co-host with my fellow co-host, Mr. Adrian Bellatore, aka Boots, too big on the socials. And this very special guest with us tonight, Mr. Kyle Mabson.
Hey,
there he is, the man himself. And a quick introduction about Kyle. He's an artist, he's a musician, and he's a genius behind our theme song, "Don't Think You Can Stay," which we've been using for many years now on the show. Don't worry, Kyle, the royalty checks are in the mail, I promise. He's joining us all the way from beautiful Los Angeles. Please welcome Mr. Kyle Mabson. Golf clap, golf clap, golf clap.
Hey.
And the movie
stop that clapping.
The movie we're discussing tonight, The Substance, the 2024 film starring Demi Moore, my favorite actress. The Substance, a fading celebrity decides to use a black market drug, a cell-replicating substance that temporarily creates a younger, better version of herself. This is directed by, and I don't think I'm saying this right, Coralie Fargeat, and it's starring Demi Moore, Margaret Qualley, and Dennis Quaid, who gave a standout performance, I have to say. He's long since been kind of a Republican shill, but whatever, we'll forgive him for that. I did enjoy his performance. I really did, genuinely speaking. But that's the movie, and I know little birdie told me that Arnold chose this movie. Arnold, you're fresh off the presses, my friend. Now tell me, before we get into it, why did you choose this movie? What was it about this movie that stood out to you?
It was strongly recommended to me from one of our listeners, and that's pretty much it. And then, then shortly after, it was nominated for a lot of awards, right? Mm-hmm. Did it win awards?
It did win some. I know that Demi Moore was nominated for Best Actress, and she lost to Mikey Madison, who was for Nora, which we recently discussed on this show. Which we'll get into that a little bit, but yeah, what do you think, Arnold? Fresh off the presses, let's get right into it. Did Demi deserve the Oscar, or what do you think?
I'd say so. Yeah, that was pretty. That's pretty wild, man. I know at the end I was like thinking, okay, I'm gonna rely on you guys. Like towards the end, I know there's like some symbolism or some deeper meaning that I haven't quite digested it yet, and we'll need some of you guys' help in that department.
Yeah, and
we'll be your
to answer your question.
Sorry,
go ahead.
We'll be your Tums to help you digest that movie.
You're going to need a lot more than Tums for this one, my friend. It was nominated for 5 awards, and it won Best Makeup and Hairstyling, which well deserved. It was nominated for Best Picture, Best Original Screenplay, Best Director, and Best Actress for more. Fargeat, the director, became the first woman to be nominated for writing and directing a horror film, and the 9th woman to be nominated for directing overall in Academy Awards history. So there you go, some interesting fun facts about that. But yeah, wow, what a ride of a film. I mean, I'm still processing it myself. Kyle, I want to ask you, just in general, do you like horror movies? How do you feel about body horror type stuff in general?
I'm good with it. I like Cronenberg a lot, so that's that's kind of his thing. So I'm in.
Nice. And the body horror. I was thinking The Fly a lot of times.
That's Cronenberg.
That is Cronenberg. That's right. Yeah. I should know that. I don't know what else to say. I'm still thinking about it all. But first thing that stood out to me. Did you guys notice the soundscape in this movie? The sound design. Like everything, like you could hear every crunch, every squeal, every squeak. Did that do anything for anybody else? Because to me, that was a very oral experience.
Yeah. that ASMR experience.
Dennis Quaid.
Yeah.
Where he's eating the shrimp. Is it crayfish or shrimp?
It was
shrimp.
It
was shrimp.
It was shrimp. Yeah.
It made me hungry.
Really?
I was like, no. I was like, oh gosh. He's like, it's all like.
Yeah, exactly that. That's going to be the thumbnail for this episode, by the way, Arnold. Thank you for that. Did you notice that, like, she didn't care about continuity? She would like, okay, here's a medium shot of Dennis Quaid eating the shrimp, and here's a different close-up shot, him with the things just going in his mouth and shit. She was like, oh, fuck continuity. I'm going to edit this to make you as uncomfortable and disgusted as possible.
She did a good job.
Yeah. But the other thing I want to say really quick, the cinematography of this movie felt very like indie art house style. Like you don't see this kind of cinematography in like big studio movies, I feel. And not just that, the editing. Like there was a sort of a music video aesthetic to some of the editing in some parts. Did you guys notice that at all? And not only did you guys notice that, but did you notice the constant 2001 references in this movie?
Yeah. I noticed, like, based on the cinematography and just the set design in general, I noticed that there was a lot of inspiration from like Stanley Kubrick and also movies like Reanimator. I mean, like the substance in general just looks like the reanimation stuff from Reanimator, with that like bright neon green, you know, monster-esque kind of serum that they had going on. But like the red hallway kind of reminded me of how some Kubrick films were shot, like The Shining. Like also in the beginning of the movie, if you notice, like a lot of the scenes are very like The Shining-esque, especially with that bar scene at the beginning as well, where she's sitting at the bar, and it just the first thing that popped in my head was when Jack was, you know, talking to the bartender in The Shining. So a lot of Kubrick and a lot of like old school like monster movies or body horror movies. It played homage to him, even though it wasn't like right in your face. It was more of like very subtle, like quick scenes here and there. So I do appreciate those aspects of the cinematography, and also in some of the scenes where things were getting a little intense, and you had the guerrilla style like POV, which made things a little bit more intense as well.
You brought up a POV, but there's an interesting point of view aspect of like when they introduced Dennis Quaid. He's literally pissing on the audience.
Yeah.
In that scene. He's like at the funeral, and he's fucking pissing on the audience when you first meet him. So it's like it shows how much of a scumbag he really is as a character. I thought that was kind of funny.
I like that her last name was Sparkle, and the movie started with a close-up shot of her star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, and then like over time, you see the cracks, you see the dirtiness, all the gunk that ends up on the sidewalk, and it's like, oh, she's losing her sparkle. I see you. I see what you're doing there. Good stuff. Sorry, Kyle, were you going to say something?
A little snow globe.
No. Yeah.
But hey, the real horror was not the crazy body gore stuff. The real horror about this movie was the fact that women age. Now, that thematically, they really leaned into that, I thought. And it's kind of funny because Demi Moore did lose to Mikey Madison in Anora for the movie Anora. And a lot of people at the time were saying, like, yeah, like, doesn't this just kind of prove everything the substance was trying to say? That you get to a certain age as a woman in Hollywood, and then you sort of get forgotten. And then it's the younger crowd that comes up, and it's like, yeah, that couldn't be more appropriate. I thought, wow. I thought that was interesting. But yeah, what do you guys, I mean, how closely has anyone here followed Demi's career? To me, the best movie I've seen her in was A Few Good Men. But you guys tell me, like, is this the peak role that she'll do, or what other stuff have you guys?
You know, before you go on with that, like briefly, because I kind of confused it when I was like watching the movie. I was like, because there was another movie this reminds me of too, and it was Requiem for a Dream.
Yeah.
And I was like, was that Demi Moore? But no, it wasn't. It was
Jennifer Connelly.
Yeah. But the similarities between the two movies, especially how it's filmed, definitely reminds me of that as well. That's
a great connection, because she kind of looks like Jennifer Connelly. Like they're both raven-haired beauties, you know, her and Jennifer Connelly. Yeah. And isn't the old lady in in that movie, like trying to like look younger as well.
Yeah. Those were like some of the connections I made with that as well. I was like, oh, this is totally like Requiem for a Dream, although not as devastating.
I don't know, man. Requiem was pretty devastating. I'll never watch that movie again.
No, that's what I'm saying. Requiem is a devastating movie. This Substance wasn't as devastating as this one, but yeah, no, I see a little bit of the correlation with characters and story.
Yeah, that is a great connection. We should do that as a buddy movie to this one. I think that would be really good. But yeah, I don't know. So like, they say sound is half the movie, right? So yeah, that soundscape that they built was there was sort of a lingering uncomfortableness to that. Did anyone else catch that?
Yeah.
It sounded like a lot of lettuce. I mean, celery breaking in half. So
it's like the ASMR shit, right?
Yeah.
But if you notice though, like there's very little dialogue.
That's true. It's a very visual and oral story, right?
Which I think they did a really great job of telling the story visually. It's very like everything. Like for instance, when Demi Moore is going to the alley to get the substance, she goes there and it's like she's already at a very low place in her life, right? And she's just like desperate, and it just kind of shows the desperation that she's going through to like get this thing. And then on top of that, she's going down this alley. It's really scummy, and then she gets to that lift gate, right? She opens it up, and it only opens like maybe a third of the way, and she literally has to lower herself to get in there. So like physically, and she's lowering herself mentally just to get this thing.
I saw that as a metaphor of like you're begging for this, you're on your knees,
That's
like
you'll do.
Yeah. That's definitely what I got out of that. Low play.
You guys didn't think get low. No, was that only me?
Nah, I think that was just you.
Probably Kyle.
No.
Probably Kyle.
Good song though.
Lil Jon, great song.
Man, I would not go in there if I was her. Like, if that was me, I mean, if I was in that situation, after you get to that roll up gate, I was like, no, I'm good.
I feel like I've done that a couple of times, even just visiting Los Angeles. I'll be ducking into this random building, like, where the fuck am I at? And then it ends up being some like crazy like art exhibit. I'm like, oh, this is cool.
I do it in style. Do like a running start and then do a splits and then make it inside.
I would love to see that, Arnold.
Like Van Damme?
Yeah.
Yes.
Van Damme.
Yeah. A little Van Damme. A little, was that JCVD?
Yeah.
I have to say the bathroom, which is a prominent set throughout the entire movie, that is the biggest, most emptiest bathroom I've ever seen. I understand it from a design point of view, but that is a very impractical bathroom to have to be that size. Like, there's a tiny sink and a mirror. There's a shower stall. And then when Margaret Qualley crawls out of Demi's body and then decides to hide it while she's got her week, she's like, I'm going to build a trap door, a hidden door. So it's like, okay, so you learned how to do all that? What's that, Alex?
That was skills, right?
But I think that was like after her second time, it was like her second time being out and about, right? Like the first week she just kind of is experiencing being Sue, and then she has to go back, and then she comes back because she does that because if you think about it, she hates the sight of Elizabeth, and it's she builds that room because like out of sight out of mind kind of situation,
Mm-hmm.
And it's like that way she can do all the things that she wants to do without feeling guilty, right? That she has to like go back or like see this thing because
I appreciate her carpentry skills because it was pretty flawless, man. I was like, wow, you found the exact tiles to match and everything. I'm like, damn, dude, I wouldn't even. It's also if I did it, those tiles would have been a completely different color.
This
and
episode brought to you by the Home Depot, by the way. The Home Depot.
It's also
For all
cool
your
to have,
hidden
like,
room needs.
extra 400 square feet in your apartment to have an extra room that you just build, you know?
Yeah.
I know.
And behind your bathroom, oh, here's another 400 square feet just ready to go. That's what
Yeah.
That already big bathroom, right?
We anticipated the dungeon building.
yeah.
I mean, rich
yeah.
people, right? Rich people.
Yeah.
I like the blatant visual symbolism of when Margaret Qualley takes down her big picture from the center of the living room and then hides it as well. Like, I'm like, wait, you're supposed to be one and the same, but not really. She's like, no, I'm going to get rid of this big ass picture and put it away because I don't want to see it. If that's not the thesis of the entire movie, I kind of don't know what is. You know what I mean? But that was a good little moment.
I also like how the crack in that picture was like over her eye as well. I thought that was pretty nice attention to detail. I mean, they put it in front of you almost every single time they showed that picture, but it's like, yeah, I get it, I understand hand holding, but hey,
did you catch the foreshadowing of, like, in the opening when some guy spills like a bunch of red food sauce on her star, and then at the very end, her star, she's a big red mass of blob, and then it just like
I like the whole sequence at the star too, though, because it kind of they didn't really get bogged down with details. They like told her story from like her star being installed to like her kind of like eventual like getting like losing like popularity with people to where like people you see like her star aging and getting cracks, and people are like at first all taking pictures with it, and then later on they're like, yeah, I think she was in some movie I saw a few years ago or whatever, and then eventually she's just like an afterthought, and then all the way to like that dude like dropping his burger on it, you know?
Right.
Would you guys consider the Hollywood Walk of Stars to be an impromptu graveyard almost?
Yeah, I mean, it's literally people walking all over your grave all day, right?
Yeah,
it's like
Kyle,
people from the Midwest.
Better perspective of that living in LA.
I mean,
what do you think? What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, it's a really weird thing to like have this like award or trophy or whatever, but it's like in the ground that people are walking on every day. And then when like people die, it's like people put like flowers and whatever at a stone on the ground on like a public street that's just like with, you know, Spider-Man and fucking SpongeBob money. Dude, it's a weird thing.
For those of you that don't know, by the way, downtown Hollywood is the Times Square of LA, but worse, because Times Square I feel is more historic. Downtown Hollywood's historic in its own way, but it's kind of a toilet seat. There's, like you said, there's all kinds of performers in Spider-Man costumes and shit, and people handing out maps to Hollywood homes and all that. It is one of the dirtiest places I've ever been to in LA. I don't know about you guys, but the last time I was there, not quite pleasant, at all. But by the way, they have to pay for those stars. That's not cheap. The stars themselves have to pay for their own stars. I think it's like, I don't know, $100,000, $200,000 or something crazy like that. So not only you're paying for someone to shit on your star. Go ahead.
They're usually purchased by other people though, like publicists though, or like they're like agencies, just the kind of like publicity.
Once you reach a certain echelon, right, then people are willing to pay for it, I guess.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what I've
heard. But yeah, that's what I've read. But it's still funny, that it's like you said, Justin. It's basically an open air graveyard, and the scummiest part of LA that you can think of. Might as well put it in. I don't know. Put it somewhere nicer, I guess. But Palm Springs has its own Walk of Fame. Funny enough.
Or how about a random place like Gilroy or something?
Yeah, there should be a Walk of Fame in Gilroy, California. All the best onion harvesters of the nation.
Garlic.
Oh yeah, this is a.
You get corrected on that every episode. Gilroy's mentioned.
What did I say?
Or you said? What did you say?
Onions.
Onions.
Did I say onions?
Yeah,
Oh,
Gilroy is the
garlic
garlic
onions.
capital of the world. The only place you can hang your meat
Get it
and it
right.
be marinated and taste delicious and have nice garlic flavor running all the way through your meat.
Live
Delicious.
show from Gilroy, California, coming soon, guys. Live show. We'll do a live show from there.
Running all the way through. You're
Sorry to. Well, I'm just throwing it out there. It might be a great place to put a celebrity star. Gilroy, California.
Yeah,
Well,
Guy Fieri is waiting for his star there.
He has a restaurant. One of his restaurants is called Johnny Garlic's. So
Oh,
that'd be his spot.
that's right. That'll be perfect.
Until they start the Walk of Fame in Flavortown, he's got to go Gilroy.
By the way,
Yeah.
I remember you were trying to hit up a lot of the Guy Fieri restaurants. I know this is a tangent. I remember you were trying to do that. How's that journey going?
Oh, always good. Always got to, I'd eat that on a flip flop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Put that on. Yeah.
Have you
have,
been to any of them in Vegas?
Yeah, I have, totally.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
We
Yeah.
have one here in Denver, Kyle. It's what's it called? Sam's number 3, I believe.
Oh,
is
I
the
don't
Guy Fieri.
think I've been there. I've been
It's
to Denver
good.
many times, but I don't think I've been there.
Yeah, hit me up next time. We'll go get brunch.
You can go to the weird theme park in the middle of downtown. Is that still there? Water park?
Yeah, it's about the size of your backyard, but it's there.
It's in the middle of downtown. It's a really weird thing. Yeah.
Well,
Love
don't
that.
forget Casa Bonita, the famous Casa Bonita's here. So
I've been there. I have been there.
I haven't. So I still need to do that. And I've been living here for how many years now?
Well, I went pre South Park dude zoning it.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, I haven't been since it's been
You should-
redone. Yeah.
Yeah, there was a waiting list for a while, and now it's open seating. So
Hell
Open
yeah.
season.
Well, if you do meet up for brunch, don't forget to do your boomerang cheers drink.
what is that? I don't even know what that is.
You know when you do the boomerang photo.
Thematically, obviously, it's about aging versus youth, and by the way, speaking of aging and stuff, a lot of very male gazy shots in this movie, and I was like, God, there's so many ass shots, so many boob shots, and then I realized, oh well, it's directed by a woman, and that has to be by design. Like there's something there about even the dancers at the end of the movie who are performing in front of kids, their tits were out. Did you guys notice that? But when the monster version of Demi's character was there with her monster boob out, the woman was like covering her child's face. I'm like, you didn't just see a bunch of dancers walk out on stage with their boobs out. Like now you decide to cover up your kid's face. I thought that was interesting.
I think maybe
How
Maybe
about
it's because
the
it was a
end where
monster.
how about the end
sorry.
where the monster where the tit comes out of the monster's mouth?
I forgot.
I was like, what is that?
Yeah, lots of weird boob and ass stuff. Arnold, were you going to say something?
Oh, it was just like Merry Christmas falls out.
I want to make those as ornaments for this year. I'm gonna put it on the tree, Donnie.
Alex, I'll turn to you really quick. What do you make of the body gore stuff with the intense focus on tits and butts? Like, what do you make of that thematically? I mean, I know there's something there, but yeah, I'm still trying to wrap my mind around that.
Is it your hear me out, Arnold?
Oh, go
ahead, Alex.
Sorry.
Don't mind
The question was, what do you make of all the emphasis on those specific parts of the female body? Gory boobs and ass.
I feel that it was just kind of commentary on just the way that Hollywood is, you know, that it's just symbolizing the what do you call it? The way they objectify women in Hollywood, right? You know, and how it kind of churns out these like celebrities Like, and then they remember Dennis Quaid mentions in the very beginning of the movie, once you hit 50, it all goes downhill. He's like, and that's kind of like, like symbolic of like how they've always done that, and they don't how Hollywood sees women as a product to sell and not like actual human people. Like this movie does a really good job at humanizing Demi Moore's character, Elizabeth Sparkle, because it's hard to imagine a celebrity like as somebody with a lot of fame and fortune, right? But they make her look and feel, and you feel bad for you. It's a sad movie, to be honest. It's hilarious at times, and it's kind of gross and shocking, but it's also a sad movie because like you see how lonely she really is. I mean, you guys talked about earlier in the film how how sparse and wide open a lot of the rooms look. That's intentional. It's made to make it look so lonely with all that space in between the walls and the character, and even like when Demi Moore is sitting in her kitchen and her maid is vacuuming, there's a wall between them and there's a window, but it's not like, it's like there's a separation. She's not talking to anybody, and nobody really talks to her, right? Nobody acknowledges her. The only person that acknowledges her is Fred, her whole
yes,
classmate. And Fred is like actually acknowledges her and isn't objectifying her at all. He's like, I remember I followed your career, like I love you, you're still the same beautiful Lizzie Sparkle. He doesn't call her Elizabeth, he calls her Lizzie, her nickname from like school, and so that's like one of those things where like he's the only one that really humanizes her and sees her as a person. And I think that's like Hollywood is this thing, like her fame and popularity was this thing that like drove her, right? But now she's being pushed out, and like her desperation, especially getting let go from her show, it's like she's getting pushed to the edge, and that's why she wants to get that back, and that's where you get like this whole objectifying thing. She's objectifying herself because she thinks that's the only thing that makes her feel worthy, and feel loved and things like that. Whereas Fred is like the complete antithesis. He's like, he goes, you've always been so beautiful to me. I followed your career like ever since we were and I'm so proud. Like, I don't know if he says he's proud of her, I can't remember, but he's like, and she's genuinely flattered, and like even to the point where even after he writes his phone number and drops it into the mud, he still picks it up and she takes it and she still keeps it. This muddy piece of paper she kept, and when she goes to like call him, like she's at a low point again, and she's like, I want to feel loved, and she's like still has that piece of paper, with his phone number, and decides to call him, and she's like,
I'm glad you bring him up.
At least somebody feels that I'm worthy of like love, and beyond.
I'm glad you bring him up.
Stuff.
My headcanon is that if she had gone on that day with Fred, she would have quit the substance the very next day. That's my headcanon, because I think Fred would have shown her that she's worthy in the shape that she's in now. Like, who cares about youth and all that, right? But yeah, poor Fred got stood up that night, man. I don't think he's ever gonna. It's hard enough to date at that age.
What's crazy too about that too is like in the text messages, even up to that point where she kind of like stands him up because of her insecurity, he still is asking, are you okay? Like, he's the only one that like ever says, are you okay? How are you doing? Is everything all right? Like nobody ever asks her that throughout the whole movie.
Yeah, because the across the hallway neighbor was first complaining about all the noise until he saw Margaret Qualley. And then, let's not forget, the creepy old guy in the diner who was also taking the substance and noticed her. What did you guys think about that scene? Because that scene, to me, felt very David Lynch-esque, by the way. How say you guys?
The creepy guy in the diner, was he also the nurse?
No. What?
Yeah,
he was like
that's what they were insinuating. Yeah.
Whoa, what nurse?
at the
remember.
beginning,
The one that
who gave
did
her,
check up on her.
who told her about the substance in the first place.
Yeah.
That's the one who put it in her pocket.
I
The
did
one who
not.
had the crazy, like, they weren't just blue eyes. They weren't just like green eyes. They were like, I don't know.
Hold on.
Glowing
You're saying
blue
the
Remember after
guy?
she gets in the accident? Remember after she gets in the accident and they're checking out her spine? After the doctor leaves, there's a nurse checking her spine. He's like, "You're a good candidate." Remember?
No, I'm talking about the guy in the diner, the old guy that is also
but
taking
they're the
a
same
substance.
guy. They're the same
He's
guy.
the young version is the
That's
nurse.
him.
Oh,
That's him. Yeah.
God damn it!
Hey, Adrian, I'm happy to be a digestive enzyme for you.
Oh, thank you. Available on our TikTok shop starting tomorrow. 10% off for the first 100 customers, right? No, I didn't catch that at all. Seriously, that wow. Okay, I'm gonna need to go back
Yeah.
and rewatch that. I have a movie free for the next 6 days. Thanks, Alex.
Because he mentions he said, "I just wanted to check up on you and see how you were doing." So
I thought he was just being cryptic. I didn't realize it was the same fucking guy.
no, it's the same dude.
Okay, wow. See, that's a great attention. I didn't even. Yeah.
So do you guys think that like that old guy, he was just already old like that, or do you think he was kind of being overcome by the substance, as well?
I thought that's kind of what I thought because he looked a little too haggard, and it was right after her finger was all fucked up, right?
Yeah.
That scene. So.
I think he's already. It was already there.
Oh, he was just an
Right
old guy.
Yeah, I think he was already an old guy. He first off, the younger version of him looked a little weird. Like
Yeah, it was like,
you know what I mean?
like
Like
too perfect or something.
yeah. I think they intentionally made him look like as perfect as possible.
Like he was AI or something.
And he said it changed my life. So it's
AI?
like he obviously had gone through the process already.
Well, but here's the thing: if you're gonna make a young version of yourself come out of your spleen, your spine, and shit, are you gonna go be a nurse? Or are you gonna go like live life on the edge or something? I don't know. I guess I would have expected.
Maybe he's getting paid extra money,
Ah.
or maybe he's getting the substance for free.
Really quick, since we're on that note, I thought the voice on the phone, I thought that was Dennis Quaid, by the way. Am I the only one that thought that sounded like Dennis Quaid? No, one else?
No.
On the phone.
That was completely somebody.
I thought it was Dennis Quaid. No, it was his brother Randy Quaid. Shitter's full.
No,
No,
it was Morpheus.
it was. They
Morpheus.
did mention the Matrix a couple times, right?
Yes.
It did kind of have the Matrix.
Isn't this like a crossover?
Matrix.
No.
Yeah. We're going to have to keep a close eye on this director's
Isn't it
career.
like a
She's got some
crossover?
great references. She's got 2001. She's got Matrix. She's got Requiem for a Dream. Yeah, let's keep an eye on her.
Interesting fun fact: her first movie, Revenge, was such a
That's a good one.
A drawing point that Marvel tapped her to be the director for Black Widow. She declined it, and then did The Substance.
Well, good for her. Because
I feel like that was a strategic choice.
yeah, Marvel, you go work for them. Yeah, you're getting your name on a big poster, but those movies, there's no, it just doesn't.
There's
It's
no
not gonna have
substance.
appeal. There's
no substance.
It's all style versus substance. Thank you, Justin. Yes, this is exactly what I'm talking about. This is why I run with this crew, Kyle. By the way, we always run with places. You know what I'm saying? But no, this is a better choice. I think that this movie you're going to be talking about for a while. Black Widow. Who even is thinking about that movie right now? Right. So
Alex, because isn't it with ScarJo?
yeah.
That's not even like my top favorite ScarJo movie, so I don't even think about that movie.
With the substance or Black Widow?
Black Widow? No.
Nah.
It's like doesn't
Scarlet.
It's Ghost in the Shell.
It's Jurassic. It's the new Jurassic World season, right, Alex? That's going to be your favorite.
I didn't even know that was coming out already.
The generic ass looking Jurassic World movie.
That looks horrible.
Now I want to see it.
Yeah.
You know what? I just want to say, I'm going to rant real quick, off topic.
Rant
but,
away.
Jurassic World Rebirth was marketed as a rated R movie, and I looked at it and they switched it to PG-13 because they knew they were going to lose the kid audience. What a bunch of fucking...
Wait a minute. Wasn't the first one rated R? The first Jurassic Park?
It was PG-13.
Was it really? I thought...
Yes.
Different times, I guess. I feel like that movie should have been rated R, but whatever. I mean, there's an arm dangling out of a, never mind, and it doesn't matter.
I haven't seen it yet, but yes, I'm aware.
It was rated. The new Jurassic Park was rated R because there's a brief scene of Chris Pratt full frontal nudity.
Yeah. No, I was talking about the original one where you see Samuel Jackson's arm hanging off. It's bitten off by a raptor. Like that's a rated R type of. But I guess it doesn't matter now. Yeah, I didn't make the connection between that, but interesting stuff. Okay, so what else do we got? Yeah, there's a lot more stuff to talk about. Obviously, I love the whole the fact that she saw the commercial for the substance on a TV channel that felt like something straight out of a GTA game, right? Like it wasn't like she was told about the substance.
No. It wasn't. What? She got the USB drive.
No, but the advertisement for the substance was on the TV that she was watching, wasn't it? In the beginning?
Because she plugged in the USB thumb drive.
Yeah, it was from the drive.
Where did she get that from?
From the nurse.
The nurse that you didn't remember.
A doctor or something, because I'm like, forget. I literally finished it 30 minutes ago.
The nurse literally felt her spine and was like, "Hey, you're like the perfect candidate." And then he slips her like a rolled up note, right? And then when she gets home,
he puts it in her coat. He puts it in her coat.
And then
but it was in a rolled paper. Yeah.
And then she called the number, and then they're like, "What's your address?" And then they shipped her the box.
Right. She threw it away first, and then she got it.
They shipped her the key card.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I saw her watching something.
I haven't watched this movie since it came out, so I'm.
Right.
But yeah. I think you guys have seen it more recently than me. So
literally an hour ago. But I thought she was. There was a shot of her at home watching the substance commercial play on TV, and I thought that was just being advertised like any other commercial. But you're saying that came. She stuck the USB drive in it. Okay.
Into the TV. Yeah.
I thought you were talking about like the interview that the young her was having with that one guy, later in the movie.
Oh, the late night show host.
Yeah, the late night show.
No. I'm still in like the first act, Arnold. You're all the way in that. I should know. I'm a terrible host, so I forget stuff, and I should probably get myself.
Oh, you're okay. You're okay.
No, I was going to ask you.
You only watched it an hour ago, so that's fine.
Exactly.
I was about to ask what is your Z rating on this. I'll ask you that later.
Yeah, we'll do the Z ratings here soon. But yeah, Arnold, since you literally watched it 10 minutes ago, what did you think of the final 25, 30 minutes of the movie?
A whole lot of titties that I didn't find appealing. So yeah.
It's bad when you don't find titties appealing, right?
Yeah, I'm more of a booty guy. But well, I just knew that towards the end I was like, okay, there was a lot with her name Sparkle. She ends up on the back at her star looking up, and then there's all those sparkly things falling, and I was like, okay, this is a lot of symbolism and stuff. It's like that symbolism thing,
Yeah.
You guys probably can help me out with.
Let me ask you
for what, Arnold?
What were you gonna say?
What I was going to say is, did you notice the huge shift in tone from when she basically after she decides to let her live, when older Demi Moore decides to let her younger self live to go do that New Year's Eve show, it just got more comedic from there because all the her teeth falling out, her ear falling off, just the body gore stuff. But then she goes home, she takes a one-shot version of the substance, and then that crazy deformed version of herself comes out with Demi Moore's face still on the back of her fucking spine and shit. Yeah. And then from there, it's like this
Monstro Eliza Sue. That's
Monstro,
yeah. Yeah, they named it. That was hilarious, actually.
Did it seem like a weird tonal shift to anybody else, or were you guys like, no, this is still in line with everything that's come before?
it was
No.
a pretty entertaining shift to me, especially on the part like the bloodbath towards the end with the music. I was like, whoa, that's pretty cool. But oh yeah, were you gonna say something, Justin?
Well, yeah, I was just gonna say that what it reminded me of in the ending part was when I was like, oh, I kind of saw it coming from the get go. I was like, oh, she's gonna go home and she's gonna use the activator on herself. And I'm like, oh, something definitely interesting is gonna happen with that. And then when she started mutating, I was like, huh, I wonder, like, where are they going with this? Is she just going to be this fucked up looking monster, or is she going to be like more beautiful, or is she just going to like disintegrate herself from existence? And when like it became like the monster that it was, I was like, okay. And then I did not expect I didn't expect Demi Moore's face to be, or Eliza Sparkle's face to be on her back. So when she turned around, and it kind of reminded me of what's that horror movie, Camp something, where she's like has her mouth open and you find out that she was a dude the whole time. Sleepaway Camp. It reminded me of Sleepaway Camp. That's what it reminded me of a little bit.
Yeah.
But I think like when the performance was going on and everybody was just like waiting for her to like show up on stage, I thought that was pretty interesting because she just slapped that photo over her face, and everybody didn't really blink an eye or think anything of it. They didn't think like, oh, like her dress looks really fucked up from here. It also just shows how much people just didn't give a shit in Hollywood. They didn't pay attention. They just wanted you to be out there making the money. But it also reminded me, and I think it's the biggest classic monster movie of all time, Frankenstein. It reminds me of that whole scene reminds me of the ending of Frankenstein, how everybody just ended up freaking the fuck out and pointing at her and saying monster, monster, and she's like, no, it's me, it's don't be afraid, it's me, I'm here to perform, whatever. It was that definitely gave me like Mary Shelley Frankenstein vibes.
You know what I thought they were going to do it when she goes up on stage with the picture of Demi on her face and stuff. I thought they were going to switch to like the audience's POV and like she takes it off and it's just regular beautiful Demi Moore standing there. Like I thought it was going to be like a weird like body dysmorphia angle they were going to take where it's like everyone like sees her as beautiful but only she sees herself as this deformed monster. But no, they didn't go that route. They went in a much better route where she splatters the entire audience with blood, which was actually fantastic.
What you're talking about is like almost the complete opposite. She was kind of delusional. That version, Monstro Eliza Sue, was kind of delusional. She thought she was beautiful. Like even when she was like curling her hair, she wasn't trying to make herself look beautiful. She was like, it was all, who's the real monster? You know, was it Monstro Eliza Sue? Was it Sue or was it Elizabeth? Right? Like who's like I feel like they're more the Elizabeth and Sue are kind of like the more like monstrous types, you know, because they were in this toxic cycle of like self-loathing, and then like the only way to feel good was to be the Sue version, but they needed each other, but they didn't like each other, you know. It was this sort of like toxic cycle, and like where like to the point where like we talked about how she was locking Elizabeth away for like 3 months, right? 3 months. Like she had been like extracting all that, like what do you call it? The stabilizer,
the serum stuff.
Your spine.
Explain to me the mechanics behind that, because I thought they had to switch off every 7 days, no matter what.
Well,
so
see, that's the thing.
Was she not switching off?
She was not.
She took advantage of it.
She was using the fluid bags, the feeding bags for both both versions to feed Elizabeth. So she'd like probably what she would do is she would get a refill, she'd just get it and then use both, and then just keep pulling.
Okay.
The fluid.
It wasn't a fair. It wasn't
the fluid. It got to a point where
you basically
there was no
you
way
basically have to switch out to you have to switch out to regenerate. It was spinal fluid, you know, like they had to like
exactly.
So that's
It wasn't a fair serum swap.
No, it was not a good serum swap. Explain to me the mechanics of what would have happened if Demi had ended it early. Would her finger have generated back to the way it was, or would she have stayed permanently with that fucked up finger?
They kept saying in the movie, like, if you terminate this, you will stay the way you are. Like, the way
no reversing.
She would not revert back to like being what she used to look like.
So when she was watching her on TV being interviewed and she was all fucked up, even at that point, if she'd ended it there, she would have stayed all fucked up, is what you're saying?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What the hell was she supposed to do with Margaret Qualley's body if she at any point if she decided to end it? What would she have done with the body?
I figure in that service that the people were providing, they would probably like provide like removal of the body as well. That's what I'm thinking.
That, and I also figured just the way how the monster kind of died at the end of the movie, maybe she herself would have disintegrated or deteriorated over time too. So that's
what I'm thinking too.
A few theories as well on that.
Yeah,
but they pretty much said from the get-go, and I don't think it was irreversible regardless at whatever point in time. There was just no reversing it. Once you got going, there's no reversing.
I want to see a version of the substance with a male character. I think that could be really interesting. Maybe like a Zac Efron type or something.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
Zac Efron.
You don't want to see deformed Zac Efron grace your
thoughts. Visually,
whatever.
A bunch of dicks everywhere, like that. Yeah,
it'll be not my proudest fat moment. I'll say that.
It'll be Zac Efron with his panini press haircut.
we already fucking lived the substance today these days. Like, all men try to like keep their youth, but they're way more delusional. You know what I mean? Like, we like all these like hair like plugs and dick pills and stuff like that. It's like, dude, it's like, dick pills, why can't you?
Everybody's
nobody wants to age gracefully.
No,
like they just want.
It's more popular nowadays, right?
Dude,
it's more. It's not as taboo for like a male to do it.
Yeah.
It's when a woman does it, like they're like, oh, it's so like, oh, you're gonna get like a breast implants or gonna get tummy tucks and all that. Where if a male does it, like, look at fucking Elon Musk, dude. Fucking that guy gets like
gender affirming surgery.
He's like, exactly, dude.
And when women don't get any kind of work done, they still get shit on for it. I saw a picture that Helen Hunt shared on social media, and like people were like, "Why does she look like that?" It's like, bro, she's aging. Like, what do you expect? Like, she hasn't gotten work done. She's just aging. She's aging naturally. Like, what do you want from her? She looks like Helen Hunt, but at her age. Like, what's wrong with that? She doesn't have the big fucking lip fillers and shit like that. So
Yeah. So I don't want to see a male version of this. Fuck that.
You don't want to see Glenn Powell do the substance?
Well, the first movie that comes to mind, if you do want to see like a male version of this, the movie Thinner comes to mind, and
Thinner?
it's about this. Thinner. It's a body horror movie as well, and it's a Stephen King movie where this guy, he's like super obese and overweight, wants to be thinner, so he gets on this like substance, and it ends up making him become dangerously thin, and he kind of becomes like a monster as well, type of deal. So good movie.
Was it a movie about meth?
I mean, it could be, Arnold,
because I've seen that happen
in real life.
I've experienced that.
Was it
all right, guys.
In high school?
What's that?
With other people, not me.
Random question, Donnie. Who is Ben Davis? Is he a fashion person?
Isn't that a clothing brand with the gorilla?
Yeah,
you mentioned it on a recent episode. So I was just wondering who Ben Davis.
Ben
was.
Davis. Yeah.
Oh,
that is a clothing brand.
It was really popular. Yeah, it is, right? A lot of like I don't know. It was popular with like the Latin culture, I guess, right? Yeah, cholos and stuff like that. Like, at least when I was growing up, cholos, those Dickies and like.
I thought it was remember Dickies. Those? Like, Dickies and Etnies
Ben Davis was also a. Yeah. And they also
was-
like
I don't know
Ben
who Ben Davis is.
was like those they look like button ups, but like those
Yeah,
polos,
yeah.
they were zippers.
And they were super
Oh,
starched, like they were like crispy, like they were like
Yeah.
Chris,
The guys from Korn would wear them. The guys from Korn,
Yeah.
would wear them,
Yeah,
especially
yeah.
the bass player.
yeah.
all right,
Is that
guys.
still in now? Because I'm going to Vegas tomorrow. I might try to hit up Totemoda before.
You never.
Is that still in Cat City, dude?
Yeah,
There's no
bro.
way. For reals?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Wow.
crazy, man.
Isn't it actually a
That's why I
Filipino
bought my
owner?
buckle belt.
I don't know. Yeah, I used to get my letter belts from there. Fucking spell my name out and shit.
I used to get my Dickies pants from there.
Did you really? So we've all been at Tolamola in this chat, huh? Kyle, have you been at
Yeah.
Tolamola?
I mean,
You're not missing much. Don't worry.
Totemoda, and then you go to
Have
the
you
Dollar
been to a
Theater,
boot-
you know?
And you go to the dollar, yeah.
Have you been
And then
to a
you-
boot world, Kyle? A boot world?
Yeah.
Go see
Boot
Stuart
Barn?
Little too.
Oh, Boot Barn.
Boot barn,
Yeah.
Boot barn.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you go to Tolamola to get some
It's kinda-
clothes. You
it's
go to the
kinda like
dollar
that.
theater. You go to the dollar theater, and then you get shot outside the dollar theater, and then you go home. That's the way it works in Cat City. No, and then you go to Food for Less, and you buy whatever's on clearance.
But you only go to the movie theater for Stuart Little too.
Yeah, everyone at home knows exactly what we're talking about. I love it.
Hey, but pretty soon there's going to be a Dutch Bros there.
hey,
There's a Dutch Bros
Hey.
everywhere now. What's up with
Yeah.
That plaza?
Yeah, they're building it. It's going up pretty quick. It's coming quick.
That almost seems too highfalutin
fast.
for that part of Cat City. I don't know why. You know what I mean? Like, anyway, Cat City. Yeah, that's where all the cats go, and that's where you get all the best prostitutes. I think. I don't know, but we are at the point now, guys. Let's go ahead and give our final reviews and socials and all that good stuff. I will start. Donnie, I'm going to start with you. Give us your socials and where can people find you and your final thoughts.
Yeah, you can find me at _Donnie Appleseed, all spelled out one word, on Instagram. What are my final thoughts? I like the movie. This was a movie that I wanted to see, but I didn't catch it while it was in theaters. So I was really like anticipating it when you guys said that's what we were watching. I liked it all the way till the end. I don't know. I just felt like it could have ended a lot earlier, and it started to drag on for me. So
Yeah.
I kind of lost interest in it towards the end.
It was like Lord of the Rings. It had like 5 different endings.
Yeah. I mean, but it was good. Like I totally get it. I totally know why she did that, the director. But for me, it would have been better if she just like ended it sooner.
Where can people find you, Donnie?
Instagram _Donnie Appleseed.
Heck yeah. And you're on TikTok. You do your car stuff on TikTok, right?
Oh yeah, that's my car page. If you guys are interested, it's for people who like hatchbacks and station wagons. It's Hatch and Wagon Alliance. That's also on Instagram. Yeah.
All right. Thanks for that. And Kyle, let's go to you next. What are your final thoughts on this movie and where can people find you and what are you working on?
thought it was a great film. I saw this when it came out though, so a lot longer ago than all of you. So this was a good refresher on it. You would think that, Demi Moore would know that looks don't matter from all those years ago when she was Esmeralda hanging out with the Hunchback of Notre Dame. But
I totally understood that reference.
that was her. So I guess, she forgot that, but hey, that's all good. It was, it was good when I saw it, and yeah, I liked it a lot. And like I said before, I really like Cronenberg and stuff, so it was very up my alley. And yeah. My Instagram is selfies, food, and pets with an underscore between each word. I don't know when this episode is dropping, but I have a new song that comes out on Friday, and that's exciting. And yeah.
What's the name of the song?
Oh, the name of the song is Hot Topic.
Nice.
Oh, hell yeah.
This will come out after that, but we'll still push it on our socials, so don't worry about that.
Yeah. So it just came out, is what I mean.
Nice. Congratulations. That's awesome. Well, thank you for that. I have to say, Demi Moore, not only is she hot, but she has a hot voice. Because when I saw The Hunchback of Notre Dame, I was like, wow. Esmeralda's already a hot character, but she also sounds hot. So Perfect casting.
Is that your hear me out, Adrian?
Not even hearing me out. Like, no questions taken, by the way, on that. You can't change my mind. Justin, you tell us final thoughts and socials and what you're working on.
I fucking hated this movie, and I hate all of you. Just kidding. Anyway, no.
Every time you get me with that.
Yeah, this was an enjoyable watch. It had reference to a lot of different movies that I like watching. I'm not too much of a body horror movie person. I think like I don't think this movie. Okay, knowing the talk on the internet and seeing the advertisements for the substance in particular, everybody was hyping it up, playing it up. And although it was a very good movie and I thoroughly enjoyed it, I don't think the hype was all that much warranted. I would still say as far as like comparing movies go, and there's really not, too much to compare them because they're completely different movies. I still think Honora deserved to win over this film. I think Honora was very
Fair.
good,
Yeah.
but like I don't go out of my way to watch like Human Centipede or things like that. Like I'm also reminded of like Tusk, tons of different body horror movies out there, or even Invasion of the Body Snatchers is another good one. I think this movie lives up to some of the hype. It is a very well made movie, very thought out, detail oriented film. I think Demi Moore did a fantastic job. And what was the other actress's name? I think she was
Margaret
fantastic.
Qualley.
Margaret Qualley. Yeah, I think she was a very talented actress as well. But I think the hype of it from the internet kind of like made me think it was going to be something else. They made it seem like it was super shocking. And as you know, we've seen a bunch of terrible movies, such as a Serbian film in particular. I feel like over the years, I'm just so desensitized that nothing shocks me at all anymore. Like I've seen some fucked up shit, and I'm like, man, that also takes away the enjoyment of like certain horror movies. Although, and which is why I feel like I lean more towards like the paranormal stuff because although I'm not entirely a believer, I still feel like that could potentially be things that can happen. And not saying that this isn't as believable, but there comes a point in time where it's like it's hard to separate like reality from like this cartoony grotesque just to be grotesque, kind of style that some directors adopt just to add shock value. I don't think this movie is all that shocking. Quite frankly, I think this movie is a little bit predictable. Although I will say, like, a lot of the prosthetics, special effects, practical effects that they have in this movie, which I don't think there was really much CGI other than when her eyes were, like, fucking changing and shit. I think they used their practical effects extremely well. Even the last scene where the blood just squirting all over the audience, which I also want to say, like, reminds me of Carrie as well, just to throw that in there. So like I appreciate the references. I appreciate the nods to other films as well that kind of paved the way for this one. I feel like maybe like in the special effects department, if it didn't win anything, I feel like this movie should have taken the special effects Oscar at least. Because it was very impressive, even because I didn't get to see this in theaters, so I forget what came out the same year this came out. But as far as I can tell, like the special effects in this movie are fantastic, really well done. Anyway, I'm gonna give this film a 4 out of 5. My name is Justin, by the way. You can find me on social media at Shibs the Zombie, SHIBBS the Zombie. You go in there and you can follow me on all the other stuff that I'm working on too. And that's it.
Well, thanks for that, Justin. By the way, I watched this on my phone like God intended, damn it. That is the true cinematic experience. Alex, let's go to you next. Final thoughts, where do people find you?
Did we get everybody else's scores? Sorry, did we get... Are we doing that? Is everybody scoring it?
I mean, we don't have to, but we can.
Oh.
But go ahead, Alex.
Okay. I like so I really love this film. I thought it was really good. Like Justin, it's a 4 out of 5. It is a body horror film. I was listening to an interview with the director on the movie podcast today, and she's like saying, while this is a body horror film, she doesn't really particularly think of it as a horror film per se. It's like draws a lot of intention from body horror, but it's a lot more than that. It's like, it's funny, it's hilarious, it's sad, it's like a drama, but like there's just a lot of elements to it. I think that's what she kind of means by the whole thing, that it's definitely body horror, but it's not, she wouldn't really classify it as a horror genre film. But yeah, some of the funny things I thought though is like when that scene with her knee when she was trying to like bend it so she could stand up.
I felt that.
Dude, that happened to me, man. My knees. I have every day. And then when she became the older version of herself, like she crawls out of that whole into the hallway, and then she falls down. She looks like she breaks her hip or whatever. But then all of a sudden she's like, she calls the thing to get the termination, and then she's like running. I'm like, there's some continuity parts that I'm like, okay, that seems weird. And then she's like, how is she like stumbling and falling and in a bunch of pain, and she's just like all of a sudden like has superpowers to like run. And then
you've seen the
like dragging, where she's like dragging that body.
Yeah, she's dragging like Sue's body. Like,
that shit was fast, dude. I was like, whoa, she's powerful.
Yeah. But then again, it kind of like made sense, like when Sue was like beating up Elizabeth. That kind of made sense, because I guess if you think about that all that spinal fluid she was taking, it was kind of like super steroids for her. So she's like being Chun-Li from like Street Fighter, and this destroying like Elizabeth's chest by kicking it, But another funny thing I noticed was like Elizabeth's mask, like the prosthetics. Why do like all old people like prosthetic look like the guy from Six Flags? The Six Flags commercial guy.
That dancing dude.
Yeah, that guy. They all seem to look like that guy. But yeah, overall,
just uncanny valley.
Like I said, overall 4 stars. You can find me at Daily Dares, and you can go to my link tree on my profile and find all the stuff there on Instagram.
Alrighty, thank you for that, Alex. Arnold, let's go to you next.
Yeah, so I thought it was a pretty wild concept of the idea of, okay, how just they came up with this movie, like, okay, yeah, you get this serum, and then okay, you become young, but it crawls out of your body, like just the whole idea. I was like, oh, that's that's all pretty wild, to think of it, but to be able to build and come up with the different things that they want to talk about, like how people have like these problems of wanting to, not really problems, the people wanting to look younger, people afraid of getting older, and being able to do cinema to talk about that, and the extremes that some people might feel that they could probably relate to. When I watched this movie, I started it actually last night. I know I finished watching the movie like just an hour ago or so, but I started it late last night, and I had to stop it because I was just getting tired. I didn't have any food. You know, I was I've been trying to not eat after like 4 because I was trying to shed a few pounds
You
before
wouldn't
going
want
to
to eat
Vegas.
during this movie, that's for sure.
What?
You wouldn't want to eat during this movie, that's for sure. I know I wouldn't.
Oh well, the whole time I was like, damn, I want some chips or some popcorn. So you know what? Or do you guys like popcorn during movies? I'm always like wanting to eat popcorn, but oddly I felt like tired maybe because I didn't have any food. I kind of felt almost like, man, if I didn't have to worry about this, if I could just have like some sort of serum or something where I could just look good for the weekend, you know, I wouldn't worry about this. But uh, 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 no, I'm just messing around. But I thought this movie was really good. It was entertaining. Um, some of the parts was like, you know, like, oh, it's when she's pulling her teeth out, and like, oh damn, even her nails too. I'm like covering the eyes of my granddaughter who's gonna be 1 year old in August. I was like, don't look at that. and then she's just laughing though. She was actually laughing at the part where the it was Monstro Eliazu,
Yeah.
Elisuya or something. I don't know. She was laughing at that part. The practical effects of how they made, like, you know, the face popping out on the side and like the boob falling out, and that was pretty funny. And the amount of blood, like, wow, that was from one body, covered the whole audience, even the whole hallway, painted it.
Yeah.
Like, oh, that was pretty amazing.
I feel a little dizzy after that.
Yeah, especially with the music, you're like, oh, like that. But I thought it was a really good movie. It was really entertaining. Would I watch it again? Maybe. I would give it a solid 3.5.
Right.
And y'all can find me on all the socials: YouTube, TikTok, Instagram at Arnie Colego.
Nice. Thank you, Arnold, for that. Final thoughts for me, really quick. I enjoyed it. I thought this was a breath of fresh air. People always talk about, oh, Hollywood's run out of ideas. I don't know. There's plenty of good original concepts out there being made by, you know, directors and writers that you may or may not have heard of. You know, so you just have to look for it. You have to know where to look. And this movie was nominated for some Oscars, so, you know, not exactly low key, right? But it did feel like a breath of fresh air. I enjoyed it from a storytelling perspective. The themes of how women are treated in Hollywood, and just sort of women's bodily autonomy in general, was not lost on me, especially given the current sort of political climate we're in, right? But beyond that, I thought it was just such a shocking way to do that kind of story, and I didn't know where it was going, and I mean that in the best way possible. I always enjoy stuff. I went in pretty blind with this movie. I didn't know much about it going in. I knew it was nominated. I knew there was some body horror elements and some themes of that sort of thing, but I didn't know beyond that much else. So it was a nice, pleasant surprise. So thank you, Arnold, for choosing this. It was a good movie. And I'm giving it 4 out of 5 on Letterboxd as well. You can find me on Letterboxd at Boots Too Big and across all social medias. And you can find the show, by the way, Never Seen the Podcast. We're everywhere, guys. We are on Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky, TikTok, Facebook, and even X, believe it or not. I don't know who's running our X, by the way. Is that you, X? Because I haven't touched that in a while, my friend. But we're on there.
I haven't touched it.
Hey, we're still on there, so
We're
check
there.
us out. Yeah, there's no shortage of places to find us. You can find everything else, including our past episodes and more, at neverseenthepodcast.com. If you got thoughts and questions or hot takes, shoot us an email, podcast@neverseenit@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you guys. And be sure to subscribe to us on Spotify, Apple, or YouTube, or wherever you get your podcasts from. And if you're enjoying the show, leave us a like, leave us a review. It really helps us out. Big thanks again to Mr. Kyle Mabson, who's here with us tonight for our intro and outro. Follow him on Instagram, and I'll reiterate, selfies_food_and_pets. And by the way, Kyle, it took me a while to remember that. All the underscores. So I like your way to find it better.
I just say between every word.
Yeah, I'm going to start doing that from now on. But yeah. That's the show. Any last words from the gentleman?
Feed her.